To Research Business Daily Report, where we have sad news about the passing of a research industry stalwart. And Bill Harvey joins us with his impressions about the most important presentations he's seen at the ARF 2015 conference. We're sponsored today and this week by Research Now, recognized industry thought leaders for online sample, unique methodologies, quality deliverables, and effective use of technology. It's sad, but our lead story today is word of the passing of one of the research industry's most influential individuals during the past 25 years. We learned yesterday that Larry Gold died last Friday. He had battled prostate cancer a few years ago, and it seemed to be in remission. But one of Larry's closest friends, Bill McKenna, shared with us yesterday that it had returned last year and had so weakened Larry, but he had no choice but to discontinue inside research. Larry's birthday is really not known to me, but he did tell me during 2014 that he was 80 years old. We've been at the ARF's 2015 ReThink Conference here in New York this week, as many of you know, and we asked our friend Bill Harvey to tell us what presentations he thought had made the most searing impression. And what he told us when we spoke with him on Tuesday afternoon is in sync, frankly, with my observations. So, Bill, here at ARF, three things seem to have stuck out for you through the first 2 days. The first thing, apparently, is Gail Fugit's opening remarks. What particularly struck you about them?
Well, it's kind of apocalyptic. There's $100 billion of money that's going to be invested by major corporations in the U.S. over the next 3 years in replacing everyone in the room, all of the research community, with data analytics people that they're going to bring in to either boss us around or kick us out. Unless we change faster than we've ever believed possible. I believe that too, but to hear the head of the ARF say it and the whole room echo in a kind of a shocked state, but nobody saying no, we deny that, that's not happening.
As a matter of fact, I was talking to someone from MasterCard today who told me that MasterCard is more or less outsourcing a lot of their research stuff out to India. And the implication is pretty straightforward. If they're getting rid of people and moving operations to a large extent to India, it's exactly what you're talking about.
Well, you know, TRA presaged all this because naturally occurring data was the way I referred to it, but that became big data. And if you've got all this big data, do you really need all this old-fashioned survey stuff in order to get insights and so on and so forth? The answer is really you do. You need both. But a big part of the job is now capable of being done in a more technological and massively sample size, improvement is massive.
Okay, and then the Unilever presentations that Keith Weed and San Nathan made an impression on you.
Yeah, I think it was one of the most terrific presentations I've ever seen in terms of honesty, the obvious love between the two guys.
Refreshing to see a marketing person and a research person getting along so well.
Yeah, although Stan is also an analytics person. He's kind of the first of the new breed. He's both, though. He's a Renaissance man. And they're both great. They're both great at what they do, and they have been for a long time. The two things that stood out the most for me in what they were talking about, one was inspiring people, inspiring organizations, creating inspired teams of people able to and willing to work together and do so in a kind of a convivial, collegial way, with zero base in terms of what we used to do. Forget about that. What are the objectives? That was the second thing. Instead of just predicting, predictive equations, good, fine. Let's transcend prediction. Let's go even beyond prediction into deciding what future we want, and then using the technology and the data to get the future we want.
Yeah, I was struck by the fact that they're very interested in new technology, whether it has a research connotation yet or not. They want to kind of reinvent things from the start if they think it can help them research-wise.
Yeah, including artificial intelligence, robots, and what have you.
Yeah, okay.
Impressive.
Yeah, it was. And then the third thing was Kantar's presentation with Nick Nyhan.
Yeah, Nick, it's funny because here you have one of the two great research conglomerates of the world standing up and saying, okay, we're matching all this data, we're connecting all the data. Again, very much, what the methods that TRA introduced. But we're not big enough. Nobody's big enough. Nobody's got all the data. We don't. Nielsen doesn't. We all have to work together. We have to connect our data to your data. We want to work with you. And then one thing in particular, I've been writing this series of blogs, as you know, about the coming competition to Nielsen and how it's going to be characterized by this working together and linking together of many different players. So he was echoing that sentiment, and then he echoed something I said almost word for word. I had said in a recent post that why should we all be developing our own mobile meters if there's one mobile meter that is outstanding and is doing a good job? I picked on Symphony Advanced Media as my example. Why not all of us adopt it? Symphony is willing, in fact, that they've changed their whole business model. They don't want to be a research company. They want to develop great technology and then share it with the industry, license it, so that wouldn't it be great if we all had one common yardstick across all of our own different proprietary samples? We'd have a way of lining up the data, all of our data, that would be much more effective than what we've got now, where there's no common yardsticks.
Is the idea about taking on Nielsen in that fashion because of how big and how much prowess they have in so many different research categories that it's going to take a group of others who come together who have maybe as a group somewhat equal prowess?
Yeah, I think I used to talk about, picture this fishbowl and there's one very big fish in there. It's filling almost the entire fishbowl. There used to be more fish, but that fish ate the others. And there's a lot of really small fish in there. And they're the other research companies. Nielsen's the big fish. And those other research companies are all fighting each other, which makes it much easier to be picked off by Nielsen,
right,
who either destroys them or buys them. And if everybody else is going to have any kind of fighting chance, they have to work together. It's even, but what I got out of the conference so far in the first 2 days is a sense that even Nielsen is willing to work with others, and that the whole, in Europe they've got this thing they call research institutes. They don't call them research companies. They call them research institutes, and they act as if they're non-profit, even if they're for-profit, and there's much more working together to accomplish goals that can only be accomplished when you put critical mass together. I was getting that kind of a feeling. Maybe, I'm getting overly spiritual.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, where we have been sponsored by Research Now. Recognize industry thought leaders for online sample, unique methodologies, quality deliverables, and effective use of technology. Please visit http://bit/do.researchnow for more information about its panels and the innovative digital data collection in its possession. And have a great research day, and please plan on joining us back here tomorrow.